Hello, Tiger and Lady Tiger fans. Welcome into Insights U Sports. I'm your host, Jordan Alvis. It's a big week for Tiger athletics. It's a battle of Highway 55 on the basketball side and the wrestling side, and also Campbellsville basketball travels to Cumberland University this week. We're going to talk about all that and more here a little bit later on. Joining me now for her first segment of the year is assistant coach of the Lady Tigers, Miranda Denny, and coach. It's an exciting time of year. You're getting back in Mid-South Conference play, Battle of Highway 55 on Thursday. Cumberland University, two big rivals for the Lady Tigers.
It is. It's a huge week for us. Both ranked teams, obviously Lindsey Wilson ranked number 4 in the nation, a very, very good team. And then Cumberland University, 14th in the last poll, historically have played us incredibly close, been hard games with them. So it's a big week for us, but a great opportunity. You know, we've got an opportunity to solidify our place in the Mid-South Conference, move up in the national polls. So we're excited.
You're coming off a 90-67 win over Wilberforce on Saturday. Emily Fox, the 21st Lady Tiger to ever score 1,000 points in her career. She's done it in 2.5 years. She's had a spectacular career.
She's incredible. She's the best kid to coach just because she wants to learn, she wants to do what you tell her to do, and she goes out of her way to do it. But in 2.5 years, I don't know that a lot of people could do what she's done. Probably the best shooter I've ever coached. Shoots it deeper than any girl I've ever coached or honestly seen. And you know, she's not super quick, she's not super athletic, but she finds a way to get the job done. And when she came here from Austin Peay a couple years ago, she could pretty much just stand out there and shoot it. And she's added so much to her game. She's worked really hard, and I couldn't be prouder for her.
And she's worked really hard on her defense as well. She's really been able to lock down some defenders, and that's added to the twilight zone defense that you all like to play, and she's really picked up some steals as well.
You're exactly right. You know, you look at her and you think, you know, there's just no way she's going to win this matchup, or there's no way she can get it done, but she does every time. She's just so smart. She seems to be in the right place at the right time, and she's been great for us.
Now moving into Thursday, Campbellsville, Lindsey Wilson, number 8 versus number 4, the Battle of Highway 55. It doesn't get better than that. Campbellsville comes in a 20-3 record, 5-2 in the conference. Lindsey Wilson 22-0, perfect record so far, 8-0 in Mid-South Conference play. What does this game mean going forward?
It means a lot for us as far as the regular season conference goes. You know, we still got our eye on a regular season conference championship. To be able to do that, we've got to pin a loss on Lindsey Wilson, and we've got to keep doing our job. We want to be the first to put a loss on Lindsey. Nobody's been able to do it so far, so you know that'd be great for us to do. And again, national rankings. If you're looking into that big picture, they're ranked number 4. To knock off a team like that just sets us to move up a little higher as well.
And looking at how these two teams, you all and Lindsey Wilson, kind of compare, 20-3 record, 22-0 overall. Campbellsville averages 75 points a game, 85 for Lindsey Wilson. You both shoot the ball very well, 36% from the 3, they're 31. But the biggest difference is the inside play. They have Kayla Stiles, Chanel Roberts. They can step out and shoot the outside shot as well. But Kayla Stiles is one of the most athletic players in the conference, and she's one of the, I guess, premier posts in the Mid-South and the NAI.
She is. You go down their roster, it's athlete after athlete after athlete. They've got a super talented roster. And it's ironic, they do have big girls. They've got 6-foot girls, but they really don't play much with their back to the basket. They play out on the floor. Stiles can bring you out on the floor. She can drive you. She can shoot it. She can do a lot of different things. Same with Chanel Roberts. I think she's probably the best offensive player in the Mid-South Conference. She's able to do so many things. She can post you. She can bring you out on the floor. And they've got 4 to 5 kids that are just like that. They can do so many different things to score on you. Offensively, they're very, very talented.
Looking at that first matchup back on December 1st, it was an 88-65 loss. Wasn't the best performance. Lindsey Wilson kind of got out ahead early and never really trailed the rest of the way. Leanne Greider, 20.6 assists. You're without her this week, obviously an ACL injury. Moving forward, Lauren Turner actually really stepped up in the Cumberland game after that, and I had 15 points at career high. We'll talk about that a little later. But talk about how who else has got to step up in addition to Lauren Turner with Leanne being out.
Yeah, I actually went back and watched our game film yesterday against Lindsey, and I feel a little more confident now. We just didn't play well offensively, couldn't score, and then like you say, Lindsey got out to a lead, and we were just battling back the whole time. If you'll remember, that was also our 3rd game that week.
Yeah.
We played Monday against Talladega, which was a ranked team at the time. We played overtime against Cumberland U on Thursday, and then turned around and played Lindsey on Saturday. We didn't score. We were having trouble offensively, so we felt like we had to press at the end, and we just didn't have the legs to press, and that ran up the score a little bit. But looking forward, I thought our defense wasn't bad. It was just we struggled offensively, so we've got to find ways to put the ball in the hoop. And again, that's a credit to Lindsey. They're long. We had a hard time with their length, and I think we were intimidated a little bit, to be honest with you. So, as you say, Lauren Turner's done a great job. We need her to get to the rim. We need people to get to the rim and attack. And again, if we can make some shots, I think Emily was 0 for 8 that game.
2 for 7 actually. That was she was 2 for 7 with a season low 7 points that
Yeah.
game, and that's not very typical of her. She's only had 7 points twice in her career.
Right.
But she's coming off some great games as of late. But with her success and shooting as well, whenever she goes, the team goes. In
You're
a way.
right. Yeah, we feed off of her.
Yeah.
I mean, people love it when she stands out there and knocks down a 3 from half court. So we really do feed off of her. But again, I think our legs were just gone by that Saturday. So I think that affected her shooting. I think it affected a lot of us. But we've got to look to attack. I think if we can score offensively, I feel comfortable with our defense.
Once again, the Lady Tigers, they play Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our coverage starts at 6:45 with Matt Payton and Jay Turner on the CU Sports Network, 88.7 The Tiger, and the TuneIn Radio app. But then, Coach, you move into Saturday. You played Cumberland on Thursday, the last time, the first time around. You played Lindsey Wilson on Saturday. Now you're flip-flopping. Lindsey Wilson Thursday, Cumberland on Saturday. Top 14 team in the country in the last poll. They're coming in with a 15-5 record, 4-4 in the conference. What is it about Cumberland that really sets them apart as well?
I don't know what it is, but they play us tough. I don't know what the record is. I know the 2 of the last 3 games we've played with them have gone to overtime. And again, I think that record is, if you look back, it's a 5-point game every time we play. He does a really good job with them. Defensively, they know our plays. They scout us well, and they always play us hard defensively. But he's got 2 very, very nice posts. He's got Nicole Bowers, who has had a little injury lately. Until then, I think she was in the running for Player of the Year. She's very solid. And then he's brought in a transfer post player at his 4 spot that's playing very well for him right now, Talia Moore. Like you said, I think she was Mid-South Conference Player of the Week a few weeks ago. So he's got a lot of nice pieces, and again, he does a very good job. He's ready for us every time. And the beauty of it is they don't have another game this week, so they spend all week preparing for us, and I know they'll be well prepared.
And we've talked about that a few times with Coach Colvin when she's been on the show. And with the subtraction of St. Catherine, you don't have a travel partner. How will that go into effect this week when you're playing Lindsey Wilson, number 4 ranked team, and then you're going to Cumberland, a 14th ranked team?
It's certainly a disadvantage, but again, it's something we kind of talk to our girls about, and we hope it feeds them. You know, your back's against the wall. Going to Lindsey Wilson, I don't know when's the last time we've been an underdog going to Lindsey Wilson, and we are. So it's kind of a mentality that we're trying to instill in the girls. You know, your back's against the wall, and you're going to have to fight a little harder, and are you willing to fight for it?
And speaking of that Lindsey Wilson game, I didn't talk about it earlier, but what does it mean for the crowd, the Campbellsville faithful, to come over to Bigger Sports Center? Lindsey Wilson's called for a blackout. The Maroon Goons here at CU is called for a whiteout. Just painting the Bigger Sports Center white and maroon, how awesome would it be to see the CU faithful travel well? Oh,
it's awesome. And we talked to our girls yesterday. There's not a better atmosphere to play in college basketball. I don't care where you're at. That's just so much fun to play. Everybody gets involved, and there's just not a better atmosphere. Here, when the game's here, it's the same way. It's just a great crowd. Everybody seems to want to see the CU Lindsey Wilson game, and they'll come out and support it.
Moving back to this Cumberland-U matchup on Saturday, looking at the tape, Cumberland 15-5 overall record, 75 points for Campbellsville, 67 for them. They don't shoot the ball as well from the outside, just 27% from the outside, and that plays a factor as well. In the first game, they lost 91-83. Campbellsville won 91-83 in overtime. They were coming off They were coming off games earlier in the week as well, but they didn't have a game to play on that Saturday. Now they get a little bit of a break, and that's definitely an advantage for them. With you talk about Nicole Bowers coming off an injury, Talia Moore is really playing well for them. They have the Fox girl that can shoot the ball really well as well. But what is it about them that can give you all fits on the offensive and defensive end?
Their post play for sure. We tried to do some different things last time with their post. We tried to double their post and throw some different looks at them. But again, Bowers and Moore are very good on the inside. It's funny you say they don't shoot it well. So we actually backed off several of their kids in their first game. Their point guard had hit 1 3 all season and hit 2 in the first half against us. So
that's always how it goes.
I know, it really is. But again, he has them ready for that. he had her prepared and she was ready for the moment. But again, we tried a few different things. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, but hopefully we'll be ready for them the next time.
Once again, the Lady Tigers play on Saturday against Cumberland University at 3 p.m. in Lebanon, Tennessee. The action right here on 88.7 the Tiger and also the CU Sports Network, starting with Matt Payton at 2:45. Coach, you defeated them 91-83 in overtime last time. Looking at some of the Mid-South Conference standings now, it's Lindsey Wilson, Shawnee, Campbellsville, Pikeville, Cumberland at the top 5. It's usually the top 5. That's usually who it is. Pikeville not as great as they have been. Cumberland U still a very good team, but the record doesn't show it in the conference play. It's kind of like the Mid-South Conference is just beating up on each other as of late.
It is, and we talked about that early in the year. You know, we played a really difficult preseason schedule, and that scared us to death because we knew how difficult the Mid-South Conference was going to be. Right now, 5 teams in the Mid-South ranked in the top 25. I think Pikeville's at 22 right now. So every night you go out, like you say, with the exception of the bottom 3 who are struggling a little bit right now, every night you go out, you have to be ready to play. You're playing a top 25 team. It's a national tournament game every time you turn around in the Mid-South Conference, which is good and bad. You know, You wish you had a few nights off here and there, but at the same time, when you do get to the national tournament, there's nothing you're not prepared for, nothing you're intimidated by, nothing you haven't seen.
And unlike this year, you talk about the bottom 3 teams, Cumberland's and Georgetown, 2-7 in the conference. They're usually right there in the mix at the end of the year. Georgetown's a very good program, another rival. Cumberland's has turned into a rival as well, but with them being down this year, you get a little bit of a game off. But when you're playing them, it's that rivalry, and I mean, Cumberland's played you all well. Georgetown obviously played you all well. So what is it about those 2 programs that they're struggling with this year?
They've had injuries, different problems within their roster. I think they're both trying to find themselves a little bit. Georgetown's very young. Cumberland's brought in several different transfers, and for some reason, the mix just hasn't worked yet. But again, like you say, they're rivals. They'll be as ready for us as they will for anybody that they play the rest of the season. So if they could pin a loss on Campbellsville, that makes their season at this point, and I'm sure that's what they're thinking about.
And you have those games coming up a little bit later in the season, Georgetown at Georgetown, Cumberland's at home, and you also host Life at home a little bit later. Coach, we appreciate the time this week, and good luck Thursday and Saturday. It's a big week for you.
Thank you.
Once again, the Lady Tigers, they play Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time in the Bigger Sports Center in Columbia, Kentucky. Then they go Saturday, going down to Lebanon, Tennessee to face Cumberland University. Tip-off at 3 p.m. with a doubleheader. Our coverage starts at 2:45 with Matt Payton. When we come back, the the assistant coach of the Tigers, Mark Vernon, going to have his first segment on the show as well. So stay with us here on Inside CU Sports.
Campbellsville Baptist Church, a church building kingdom community through small groups, kids ministry, youth ministry, and worship. At Campbellsville Baptist Church, we're dedicated to sharing the love of God because God's love changes the world. Join us on Sundays for worship at 9 and 11 and small group Bible study at 10. Located on North Central Avenue and on the web at campbellsvillebaptistchurch.com.
Citizens Bank and Trust knows just how hectic your day can be. Stay on track during your busiest days with Citizens Bank and Trust. Buying the latest gear to support your favorite team. Or grabbing a coffee after studying all night. Citizens Bank allows you to deposit your checks with the snap of a picture at any time, especially after hours. Citizens Bank and Trust, keeping you on schedule. Now introducing Apple, Android, and Google Pay.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Campbellsville University Cosmetology teaches beauty inside and out. The cosmetology students at CU receive salon experience while learning in a contemporary environment from faculty who have worked in the industry. With areas of study ranging from hairstyling to salon management, Campbellsville University Cosmetology can help you turn your passion into a profession. Kickstart your cosmetology career today. Visit campbellsville.edu/cosmetology.
Grandpa, famous for dropping a line. Lee's, famous for chicken. Fall into a deal this autumn at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken with our Spicy Jumbo Dippers combo for only $5.99. Take flavor and value to a whole new level with a cup of our Spicy Jumbo Dippers, a side, a biscuit, and a regular drink, all for an amazing price. It's a deal that's easy to fall for. Make fall value season at Lee's with our Spicy Jumbo Dippers combo for only $5.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Welcome back into Inside CU Sports. I'm the host, Jordan Alvis, here with the assistant coach of the Tigers now, Mark Vernon. And Coach, big week for you. You picked up a win over University of Maine Fort Kent on Monday. picked up a win over Wilberforce on Saturday, moving into Lindsey Wilson and Cumberland this week. It's a good time for the program. You're coming off 2 straight wins. And what is it like with coming off these 2 straight wins going back into conference play?
Well, it was a really good 2 games for us. We've had some struggles here lately, and we wanted to use these 2 games to try to get back on track and play well. And I thought we did that. Played 2 good non-conference teams. They've had good seasons. And it was good for us to come out and play well and get ready for 2 huge conference games.
You pick up a 76-70 win over Wilberforce on Saturday. You kind of let a big lead slip away, a 19-point lead in the first half, or excuse me, early in the second half slip away. And then you come right back, Main Fort Kent 90-62. You started slow. Your brother Brent, he talked about last night on the post-game show, started slow in the first half and the second half, but then about 2 or 3 minutes into the game, into the second half, it kind of just, the lights switched on. What was the difference against Wilberforce where the light didn't really switch on until late in the game compared to last night against Main Fort Kent?
Well, I think a little bit of the Wilberforce, also we started out great.
Yeah.
Started out great. And sometimes I think a little bit of our Achilles heel this year has been sustaining success.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll be playing well, and we kind of get away with what got us there, and we go back to some bad habits. And that kind of happened with Wilberforce. We struggled making some shots. They made some tough shots. Yeah. But to me, the best thing about that game was, since we've been used to losing some games, it would have been easy once they actually took a 2 or 3 point lead to kind of say, here we go again, throw in the towel, and we didn't. Yeah. We kept battling. We hung in there. We great defensively and were able to hold on. I thought it was easy for us to be ready to play against Wilberforce. It had been a lot of times since we played. Main Fort Kent, you come and, okay, here's another game out of conference. Sometimes it's harder to get up for those games whenever you're used to playing conference game after conference game. But once the game started, I thought we did a great job of really buying into what we wanted to do, and we were able to come out on the end.
Eric Kinney, 4 straight double-doubles. He's kind of turning on as of late. Brent said last night in the post-game if he's not getting a double-double every game. It's not necessarily that he's down on Eric, but I mean that's expected from him. I mean, he's a big guy. Nobody can really take him one-on-one on the block. Eric just gets the ball on the block, and he's probably going to score 65% of the time. Talk about Eric's play and kind of what's switched for him and kind of going forward in the Mid-South Conference play.
Absolutely. The last 3 or 4 games, he's been great, honestly, and we need him to continue that for us to be able to do some things we want to do. You think about it, Eric didn't play at all last year. We got back after the summer, and he still wasn't 100%. He didn't even get a practice the first 2 or 3 weeks we were practicing. So there's a lot of rust, a lot of conditioning that had to take place for him. Whenever we first started, his conditioning wasn't very good. But now that we're going and he's getting more conditioned, he can play a little bit longer, not as tired on the floor, fight through some fatigue, I think that's gone a long way.
And I think he's kind of matured a lot more, too. He didn't play for a year and a half almost. He's played probably pickup or something, but not necessarily with a team atmosphere. And he kind of learned he had to learn again how to play with a team again. And he's sharing the ball well. He's becoming a really good passer as well, getting better on the defensive end and really locking guys down.
Absolutely. I think this happens with a lot of transfers on our level. They come, they think it's going to be easier than it is. A lot of people don't know a lot about NAIA or our level, and they think I'm going to be able to dominate. Even though he was here last year, he wasn't playing, so you don't go against it, so you still think you're going to be fine. You get out there, all of a sudden it's not quite as easy as you expect, and sometimes some frustration having you try to do a little bit too much. Now he's gotten in the flow of it. He realized, okay, I can do this. Got to do a little, tweaking and changes in how he plays, and now he has, and things have been really good for him.
Sean Johnson against Main Fort Kent, career high 20 points, played really well, hit a couple threes. 21st birthday was Tuesday. It's a great week for Sean. Maybe it'll go into the Lindsey Wilson Cumberland.
I hope so. Sean, he's been great for this year. He does more right than anybody. Sometimes lack of strength makes it hard against certain opponents or certain players. Elliott was in foul trouble a lot, so we needed Sean to step up, and he did a great job. Made a couple shots. Obviously, I think whenever his feet set, he does a great job shooting. Yeah. But to me, the most important thing with him was he finished with some contact around the rim last night, and that's huge. He's been working hard with his strength and will continue, and I think he'll just keep getting better.
And a lot of people will say, or they may want to know, why didn't Sean Johnson play more? He had a great game. You talk about the matchups may not be great for him, and the lack of strength a little bit going against an Eric Kinney on the other team or a DeAndre Warder from Georgetown a couple years ago. I mean, just the matchups aren't great. What's the coaching philosophy going into that?
Sure. Well, a lot of it comes down to, one, the game of basketball is changing.
Yeah.
Almost everybody now, for the most part, plays 4 guards. With Ellie and Sean, we don't feel super comfortable them guarding guards out on the perimeter much, so it's hard to play them together. So it comes down to, okay, Elliott and Sean. Elliott's a little stronger. He's a little more experienced as a senior, and so
Shoots the ball a little better.
Yes, he does. And so, a lot of times because of that, Elliott might get a few more minutes. But like I say, Sean's always ready to step in and contribute and do what he can to help. He's a great teammate. You never hear anything from him if he's playing 10 minutes or 20-some minutes like he played last night. He just does the job that we ask him to do.
Now moving into Thursday, Battle of Highway 55. We talked with Coach Denny a little bit earlier about what it means for the Campbellsville faithful to show up. Obviously, your first year here, you haven't really got to experience the midweek Campbellsville-Lindsey matchup. There's obviously, with Cumberland's, there was always some great rivalries there, but I remember a couple years ago, Eric Kinney had the steal and a dunk late to beat Cumberland's. And so going into this, what are you expecting out of the Campbellsville-Lindsey Wilson matchup midweek on Thursday?
Well, you're right. I have about 6 or 8 years ago, I was able to watch one midweek matchup. It was actually a snow-out game on a Monday at Lindsey.
Okay.
And it was awesome, I'll be honest. It was packed. I got there, I sat. Lindsey's not a huge gym, but I'm up in the top corner that you can be in. And it was a blast to watch. So I am looking forward to it. I'm excited for our guys to be able to play in an atmosphere like that, but I'm also anxious to see how they respond to an atmosphere like that. We've been fortunate for the most part so far, our road games, except for Harris Stowe, have all been no schools in session.
Yeah.
So it's been a different atmosphere. And we need to see how we will respond to some adversity, to the crowd being against us, and hopefully we can respond in the right way, because it's a huge game for both teams. Both teams are kind of in a position where there's not much room for error, and they both need to win badly. So it should be fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
First matchup, 64-58 win back on December 3rd. It was actually the Saturday. You actually hit 9 3-pointers, 9 of 24 from the floor from the three-point line, but they only hit 8 twos. Kind of live and die by the three a little bit, and that's really obviously Hagan Tyler last night. He hit a couple of threes. Sean, we talked about him hitting a couple of threes. Antonio Chapman. Jalen Coates has been playing really well the last couple of games as well. I hate to say the live and die by the three, but sometimes that's what it comes down to be.
It is. And, we actually talked to our guys at halftime. I think we were 9 for 23 from the three-point line at the half. We were 10 for 13 from the two at the half. And that's what we told our guys. We're not telling you don't shoot threes, because we need to shoot threes, but don't settle. I thought the last 10 minutes of the half, we shot some threes, but they were good. They're inside out, penetration, kick, and shoot. It's the 1 or 2 passes, no dribbles, shoot with 20 on the shot clock threes that we don't need as much, because we can score inside with Rod, EK, Elliott, Sean, Jalen in penetration. Even Hagan can get in there. Just don't fall in love with it. Lindsey's going to be a battle. I mean, you know how it's going to be. I expect 64-58, probably be the same thing again. It's going to be rough, physical, probably aren't going to call many fouls, going to have to be able to take some contact, and whoever can probably make the most shots at the end is going to be the winner.
Looking at how the two teams compare, Lindsey Wilson comes in 16-8 overall record with a 3-5 conference record. Campbellsville at 11-9, 2-5 in the conference. Not great in the standings, just Campbellsville 7th, Lindsey Wilson 5th, right around there. And but looking at how these two teams compare, right? I mean, percentages 43-45 from the floor, 36-38. Excuse me, I'm looking at the Cumberland. Campbellsville 43-50. Lindsey Wilson's got some bigs that really can take advantage of some lack of depth in the post. Dimitri Utolin actually didn't play the last game. He's been playing as of late, been playing really well for the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, you're right. And we were fortunate too. Brian Walser, point guard, played, but he'd been hurt and he wasn't very effective. So we didn't quite probably get them at their best. Now, if you remember, Eric Kinney probably went out with 10 or 12 minutes left in that game and didn't play the rest of the game, and we were able to hold on as well. So we weren't at our full strength for the whole game either. Really, we're kind of opposite. I mean, they're big. They don't shoot a ton of threes. They like to pound it inside. Utolin will shoot some threes. Brian Wallace will, but they're more of an inside-out team. We're a little more of an outside-in team. So there's a little bit of a difference, but I think our guys will be ready. I mean, obviously, we know each other really well. And so it should be a lot of fun.
Moving into Saturday, another big matchup, still looking for that first true road win on the year. Cumberland comes in on Saturday 10-10 overall, 3-5 in the conference. A 5 p.m. matchup down in Lebanon Central Time. What is it about Cumberland that could give you all fits as well?
I personally think Cumberland's good, and I think they're playing well. You know, they won at Life by 3 just, I think, last week. And, you know, the week before that, they won at Shawnee, and they lost at Georgetown, but only by 6. I think they're playing really well. They are perimeter-oriented almost all guards, and it's all dribble drive. They just put your head down and they don't think you can guard them. And so we're going to have to be ready. If we can't guard the ball, we'll be in trouble.
In that first matchup, a 72-69 loss. Eric Kinney, 20 points, 17 rebounds, a career high. Going into that ball game, you're going to have all hands on deck. Cumberland doesn't have a game on Thursday night. They're going to have a little bit more to prepare for. You're coming off a huge game on Thursday, going into Saturday. What's it like to not have that travel partner this year?
It's tough. And, we told our guys before the season that, there's nothing we can do about it, but that's part of it. And it's going to be a disadvantage, but there's some disadvantages in life that you got to work through as well. Make it even more, that a lot of people don't know, is whoever we play the week before, they played life. And so they only have one conference game that week too. So we've played 2 conference games, they played 1. Then we played 2 conference games, they played 1. So we're at a pretty big disadvantage this year for that. But hey, there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to be able to be tough enough to fight through some fatigue. No, you only have about a day to prepare. They've had a week, but that's part of it.
5 conference games left. Really quick, looking at the Mid-South Conference standings. Georgetown 8-1 overall, Life at 7-2. Cumberland 6-3, Pikeville 5-4, and then after that, you have looking at it 6 teams within 2 games of each other with 5 games left. It's a big stretch down the road here.
It is, and the good thing about it is we have a chance to beat every team, and we've proven it. We've had a couple of games where we couldn't have won, but we were right there with Cumberland U, we were right there with Cumberland, Kentucky, we were right there with Georgetown. So there's no doubt we can beat any team we have left. Now we can lose to any team we have left too. That's just the way our league is, but. We don't have a lot of room for error, but we can get on a roll. We can win 3 or 4 in a row, and we'd be right back in the thick of things. Maybe not to win a conference title, but be up there for a 3rd, 4th seed, and you never know what happens then.
Coach, we appreciate the time this week. Good luck Thursday. Good luck Saturday.
Jordan, thanks for having me.
Yep. Once again, the Lady Tigers and the Tigers, doubleheader on Thursday. The Battle of Highway 55 starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our coverage starts at 6:45 right here on these same stations, the CU Sports Network, 88.7 The Tiger, and the TuneIn Radio app with Matt Payton and Jay Turner. On Saturday, the Tigers and the Lady Tigers travel to Lebanon, Tennessee to face Cumberland University. The doubleheader starts at 3. Our coverage starts at 2:45 on these same stations. We'll be back next week, same day, same time, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. right here for more of Inside CU Sports.
The gift of reading is worldwide. Whether you're sitting at home or enjoying nature with your favorite book, Dog-Eared Books is here for you. Located on East Main Street in Campbellsville, Dog-Eared Books has a wide variety for all your reading needs. Find your favorite author or search your favorite genre. Stay up to date with all our extra events on social media at Dog-Eared Books KY and also dogearedbooksky.com. Dog-Eared Books, because books are a man's best friend.
Here at Saloma Baptist Church, our mission and ministry extend beyond our walls. We are focused on teaching all ages about the love of Jesus and preparing them for a life of mission. We are committed to serving the local community and the world in the name of Jesus Christ. For more information on service times and mission opportunities, visit our website at salomabaptist.com. We extend a warm welcome to you and your family here at Saloma Baptist Church.
A champion doesn't get days off. It takes determination and drive to realize goals. From long nights to early mornings. From the courts to the classrooms to online. At Campbellsville University, this is why we play. This is how we learn. This is where champions are made. Find your calling for a life change at campbellsville.edu.
As the city of Campbellsville prepares to celebrate its bicentennial, Taylor County Bank celebrates 80 years of being locally owned and operated. Taylor County Bank offers many convenient features such as mobile banking and online bill pay. Should anything happen to your debit card, Taylor County Bank provides instant disabling of the card. They also offer a number of design options to show your local pride. Taylor County Bank, with multiple Campbellsville locations and online at taylorcountybank.com.
Whether you're 2 or 102, the Tigerville Grill has something for you. Take advantage of the Build Your Own Burger menu, In the mood for something small? Choose one of the many delicious slider options. Call ahead and use our fast and easy drive-thru. Oh, that cool freestyle fountain drink machine? We've still got it. The Tigerville Grill, located at 314 North Columbia Avenue and open to the public 11 to 8 daily.